My name is Tamara Price, and I'm an occupational therapist. I've worked in healthcare for 19 years. The same year that I became a healthcare provider, I also became the patient. Just weeks before I was to finish OT school, I became terribly, terribly ill. I ended up being diagnosed with Crohn's disease at the time. Unfortunately for me, in the months that followed, that wasn't the end of the line. By 2017, I had over a page of diagnoses. In addition to Crohn's, I have lupus, Sjogren's disease, Raynaud's disease, interstitial cystitis, migraines. I was having trigeminal neuralgia, which was causing horrific burning nerve pain in my face. I kept having episodes of costochondritis, which is an inflammation of the cartilage around the sternum, and every time that flared, it felt like I was having a heart attack, and I would be back in the ER for another full cardiac workup. I had sacroiliitis, which caused horrific low back pain. I could talk for the rest of the day about everything that was wrong with me, but basically you could summarize it as inflammation. There was not a part of my body that was not inflamed. By 2017, my rheumatologist summarized it by saying, "You are an autoimmune mess." On a good day, I felt like I had the flu and everything hurt and I was exhausted. On a bad day, we were back in the emergency room or hospital, and unfortunately, at that point in life, we had a lot of bad days. In 2017, there was one hospitalization where it was all my husband could do to get me off of the floor and to the vehicle to get to the ER, and I'm stubborn and I refused to pay for another ambulance ride. And so 3 days later, when I got out of the hospital, I will never forget when my 15-year-old daughter came up and threw her arms around me and said, "Mom, I've seen you cry before, but I've never heard you scream," and I didn't like that. That scared me. And as a parent, that was absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, we were spending thousands and thousands of dollars seeing specialists all over the country. We had been to one of the supposed best healthcare systems in the country. I was doing everything every doctor recommended, and I was failing at life, and it was scaring my kid watching what I was going through. And so when my neighbor, Michael Mayfield, first tried to talk to me about Pure, I didn't listen for 9 months. What was my neighbor that sells insurance going to know that the best healthcare system in the country didn't? But it turns out he knew a whole awful lot. So I am forever.
Yay, Michael!
He's back there. I'm looking for him. I am forever indebted and very grateful to Michael Mayfield for not giving up on me and for bringing Heidi Taphorn to my house one day. When I did finally sit down and listen, as somebody that has a background in science and in healthcare, the philosophy made perfect sense to me. I loved that the core products were in the physician's desk reference. Within the first week of starting the products, I was coming off medications that my doctors thought I'd be on for the rest of my life. At the lowest point of life with my illness, my gut had completely shut down, and I had been on a liquid-only diet for months, and I was rapidly losing weight and basically starving. And so in order to get me eating again, the wonderful solution they had was to basically put me on the equivalent of a colonoscopy prep every day so that I could eat solid food and it'd just run right through me. And that's not a real great way to live. I don't recommend it. I did that for 2 years. The day I started Pure, it was like somebody flipped the switch and my gut was working again, and I've never taken another laxative in my life. I've been on the products for 1.5 years now, and I am off 15 medications, and those are not small meds. I'm off all narcotic pain meds. I am off the anti-malarial drug they had me on for the lupus. I am off the infusions. I used to have to go in every few weeks and get the IV infusions for the Crohn's. This summer, I got the official word from my gastroenterologist that my Crohn's, after 19 years, is finally in complete clinical and histological remission. And my biggest testimony, to my husband and I really is that I have not had so much as one emergency room visit, not one hospitalization since I started up here. I haven't even had one day that I had to call in sick to work. I never thought that would happen. And I'm actually back to being able to do my job as an OT. At the lowest point in life, I'd had to step away from that, and I'm back to doing that again. So my summary is that these products saved my life. They gave me back my life, and I will take them the rest of my life.
Thank you.